everyone? It is Christian here from the Calcio Bros, and a little bit of a delay on my video because of a bit of work schedule, and I do have a pet peeve of not doing a video until all Serie A matches are done, as it does tend to be a lot of what I talk about. But the big news, of course, of this weekend was Inter officially being declared as Serie A champions. They have finally ended Juventus's dominance, and especially after their win on Saturday, Milan, Juve, and Napoli were officially pulled out of the Scudetto contention, with Atalanta not needing to win. It was in order for Inter to win the Scudetto, Atalanta needed a loss or a draw, and that result came in Inter's favor, and did help them secure the championship. So Inter go on to claim the Serie A title for the 19th time in their history, a well-deserved title. Conte once again doing incredible work, taking over an Inter side who were pretty low. I can't remember where they were in the standings a couple of years ago, but anyways, he's been one of the more consistent sides in Serie A this season, like I said, and they have really deserved it, shown they are the team to beat. And now it really gets up to who else will be relegated. We have now two teams confirmed going down to Serie B, and then we are waiting to see who will be that third team, as well as who will finish in the Champions League and Europa League places. But before we get on to that discussion, let's get on to what happened in round 34. So that means only 4 games to go. Everything is getting so tight. Anyways, let's start off with what happened starting on Saturday, May 1st, 9 a.m. We had Verona Spezia. Spezia grabbing a late draw to secure themselves a crucial point for their fight to survive. Saponara getting the goal that they needed, so any point is good for them. They are still close to the relegation zone, but they will hope they can pick up a win in their next game. Moving on to 12 p.m., we have Crotone hosting Inter, and now Inter took this game later on in the second half. Eriksson opening up the scoring, Hakimi sealing the deal late in the game, and this also condemned Crotone down to Serie B. And again, this win also did put the other 3 other teams out of Scudetto contention and put pressure on Atalanta to get the lead. But Inter did get their job done and got the result they needed to keep going, which again they did go and get on with the title. 2:45, Milan hosting Filippo Inzaghi's Benevento, where Milan got the crucial win that they needed, 2-0. And now again, Benevento still winless in their last 19, 20 games. Their only win, and once again coming against Juventus, and they are in the bottom 3 for the first time this season. So that will is going to be tough for them, because this return half of the second half of the season has really gotten to Benevento. They are really struggling to find any type of win and could see themselves return down to Serie B. Moving on to Sunday, at May 2nd at 6:30, we had a huge game between Lazio and Genoa. This match finished in a thrilling 7-goal thriller with a score of 4-3. Lazio continuing on their roll up the standings, trying to pressure for that top 4, and especially getting as many points as they can, considering they do have that game in hand with Genoa. Yes, they did lose, but they still have some distance away from the relegation zone, but we'll hope to pick up some points just to ensure some safety, and hopefully some results go in their favor. Moving on to the 9 a.m. matches, we had another thriller between I keep saying Benevento, or getting mixed up there. Bologna, Fiorentina. This finished 3-3, hat trick from Palacio, and then Vlahovic is continuing his fine run of form, scoring his 19th of the season. So 2 great scorers this season, and one also in Serie A. We also had Napoli, Cagliari, Napoli only getting a draw here. Cagliari stealing a point late on in the match. That is a crucial point for them, especially that Benevento lost. But they still need a win. That this draw does help them move out of the relegation zone. But they hopefully can pick up some 3 points going forward to see if they can help them survive and stay in the top flight. But for Napoli, puts a bit of a dent in their top four chances. Hopefully, they can go towards the next round and get those 3 points, which we're going to talk about soon. And then the last 9 a.m. game was one of the crucial ones with Sassuolo, Atalanta, and like I said, if Atalanta failed to win, the Scudetto would automatically be given to Inter. And this did finish in a draw, a 1-1. And things didn't look good at one point for Atalanta as Golini was sent off, but they still took the lead through Gosens. But then Sassuolo tied it up and then later received their own red card. But they even missed a penalty too, so that could have changed everything. Consigli did everything he did, got everything got himself behind that ball and kept it out, helping helping Sassuolo to a crucial point as they are trying to get close to that 7th spot because they're not far behind Roma. We'll move on to the 12 p.m. match that Sunday between Udinese and Juventus, battle between the Bianconeri sides. Udinese did take the lead through some terrible defending from Juventus, but I'm going to say that Juventus didn't play the best, but Ronaldo scoring 2 late goals, one from a penalty and the other from a header, secured Pirlo's men a huge 3 points. Perhaps kept Pirlo in his job for a little bit longer, but honestly, Ronaldo didn't do anything basically the entire game and just saved Juventus at the end. So that was a huge 3 points for Juventus, like I said, because they still want to maintain the top 4 finish. So this win did really help. Now we move on to the last match on the Sunday, which was Sampdoria Roma, and now this was a big loss to Roma. They also did play their third goalie Fusato. Maybe after some terrible performances from Mirante warranted that, but injuries upon injuries did really catch up to Roma. They didn't really have many other starters, but they didn't look like they were here to play really. They did have 3 disallowed goals, but a huge, big win for Sampdoria. Again, another blow for Roma if they want to finish 7th, considering that Sassuolo, again, is only 2 points behind them. They could lose out on Europe altogether. But confirmed also this morning that Fonseca will no longer be coach of Roma next season and that Jose Mourinho will take over as the Giallorossi coach. And that really shakes things up for them next year. So they would hope to make some type of European competition next year. Let's see what they could do. We'll talk about Mourinho a little bit later. Let's go on to the Monday match between Torino and Parma at 2:45. That finished 1-0 for Torino. Big 3 points for them, especially with their game in hand. They go 3 points above the relegation spot, so a crucial point in their next game, or especially in their match against Lazio, will be big. And with this loss too, Parma are condemned to Serie B. Only 3 years after coming back after their financial collapse. Also, the fact that they only had 3 wins in 34 games, 1 win in their last 20 matches, it wouldn't have helped at all. So even Crotone was doing better, but let's see what they can do going forward. D'Averso is probably the coach they needed at the beginning rather than taking out. I know they want to do a attacking focus type of playing style, but the players just did not suit it at all. So we'll see who stays, who goes, especially even with Crotone. I feel that Macias and Simi probably won't stay with Crotone when they go down, considering Simi scoring 19 goals this season. That's incredible. So, anyways, those were all the results that happened this weekend. Be sure to let me know what you guys think. Again, full credit to Inter and Conte for what they did. And so let's talk also a little bit more about that. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the standings on how it shakes things up, and then I'll talk a little bit more about that. Going to the standings now, looking at the bottom. So, like I said, Parma and Crotone are mathematically relegated. Crotone is sitting last at 18, Parma with 20, and the third team right now is Benevento in that other relegation spot with 31 points. But if we creep a little up there now, we have Cagliari just outside with 32, Spezia at 34, Torino with the game in hand at 34 as well, Fiorentina at 35. Now Genoa's at 36, so they're pretty much. I don't want to say they're safe, but they have again some distance. Bologna and Udinese are both at 39, but I don't think they will get relegated. It's 8 points is a huge gap between the two sides, so I don't think those two sides will be even close into the relegation battle. But I do feel from Cagliari, like from Benevento to Genoa, I do feel those are going to be the teams fighting for that last spot, and it's going to be honestly, I'm going to say it's going to be hard seeing any of those sides go down, especially Spezia, considering the debut season they've had. They did have a great start this season. Like I said, they beat Napoli. They beat Milan. They drew Inter. They put up challenges against Roma, Juventus, Atalanta. They put up a big fight against some of these big sides. So it'll be tough to see them go down, and again, any other team go down. So I definitely know if some of these teams do stay up, they are really going to try to work around their side and hopefully try to make sure they can compete better next year. So let's make our way up the standings now. So even though Sassuolo drew, they still inched closer to Roma. So Sassuolo sitting 8th right now at 53, and Roma 7th at 55 with their third loss in their last 5 games. And now I did forget that next year we were starting the new European competition known as Europa Conference League. So those who finish 7th will qualify to that competition, but they still must go through qualification phases. I don't know how much. I don't know if it'll be the same way. I've honestly played a lot of Football Manager and remember that, but I don't know if with the Europa League, if it'll be the same type of format. I have to honestly read about that. But anyway, so 7th will get you into that new competition. So Sassuolo just creeping up, and Roma still have a couple of tough games left to play. So they would hope to get some wins out of those games. Otherwise, they're going to lose out on Europe completely. And wouldn't be good, especially with Jose Mourinho. It would help with some Europe as well, but maybe a fresh, just a full season without anything could help. Going on to 6, we have Lazio sitting at 64 points with a game in hand, of course. Napoli 5th with their draw at 67. Milan sitting 4th, or they're all tied for 2nd. Atalanta, Juve, and Milan all sitting tied for 2nd with 69 points. But remember, it turns into a mini standing. So right now, Milan don't have the any points against Juve and Atalanta, considering that they only played each other once. So that's tough to say who's going to finish where, because again, Napoli and Lazio are so very close. So anything still to play for that, for the other 3 spots. And again, Inter first, 82 points, already clinched as champions. So those are the standings. Be sure to let me know who you guys think will be the third team going down, as well as who may finish in these European places, all left to play for. So I feel let's talk about Inter's winning Serie A season. So after being eliminated from Champions League, I know we're going to some negativity here, but again, you could see that's where the season changed, as Conte did manage to regroup his team a little bit, try to think things through. Playing once a week it did help. His main focus again was Serie A. And one thing too I did notice is that he did start playing Christian Eriksen more, and I don't know why he didn't do that at the beginning. He was a very talented player, and he did help change the way Inter played. A much better option than Vidal in that midfield. I don't know what he saw with Vidal. He was just a red card always waiting to happen, and continue to be issues for Inter's midfield. But anyways, Christian Eriksen really helped his team in creating opportunities, scoring crucial goals. Darmian getting crucial victories too. Like, he was the new Giaccherini for Conte, just coming in clutch when need to be and picking up wins against sides. He did it twice against Verona and Cagliari. So big points there for Inter thanks to their fullback. And Conte does know how to take a team that is outside the top six or whatever and turn them into winners. We've seen it with Juventus, we've seen it with Chelsea, and now we've seen it again with Inter. He's managed to, within 2 years, to bring them to uh, Serie A championship. He was close last year, did finish second. Um, and I know sometimes too that first season you just have to sometimes get the pieces together. You need the year to see how your team is and try to uh, readjust to the way you want them to be, and being able to fine tune your tactics into the team. So it was definitely a tough not a tough year, but different. They did also make the Europa League finals last year as well, just losing out to Sevilla. But credit to Conte, because he, after being eliminated, he got focused. Said it was Serie A or nothing, because if they did not win Serie A, then it would have been a failure this season for them. They took advantage of Milan's slip ups, especially in 2021, where they started to lose games, lose points, and they lost ground on their first place. And then I feel the turning point was the derby, where Inter defeated Milan 3-0, and that really changed everything in the season, as those defeats did get heavy on Milan and just changed everything. Um, but incredible work. The defense tightened up. Handanovic played much better, and like I said, he had the occasional fumble after here and there, but compared to early on in the season, he had a lot of those, and they've just kept an incredible display. Great counterattack, one of the best we've seen this year. Second most goals scored, best defense so far. So they have really shut down their opponents and known how to break down their defenses. And they have just continued to work hard to earn this title. So congrats on Inter once again winning your 19th Scudetto in Italy. And now some other news too. So, like I said earlier too, when I was talking about Juventus, if there were rumors that if Udinese did beat Juventus, Pirlo would lose his job, but Ronaldo's saving him for another day. But I do feel that's more the short term. So yes, you would fire Pirlo. Tudor would probably take over till the rest of the season. But then what will you do? That's how the long term goes. So maybe Pirlo will stay to the end of the season, but that only helps your short term. So what do you do long term? I know there's rumors of Allegri coming back, but it also depends if Paratici or Nedved leave as well, or if they stay. How much control will Allegri have when he comes in? Will he be able to really change things up a lot? Depends also on where Juventus finish up as well. Because if they don't finish in Champions League, I feel they'll definitely sell players, because they'll have to in certain instances as well. Ronaldo, I for sure don't see will want to play in Europa League. And I know, again, I can't say for sure with Donnarumma. I know Juventus were linked with him to get him on a free transfer, but I feel they would have to sell Szczesny if they're going to, because you're not going to have Donnarumma, Szczesny, and Buffon. That's just too many goalies right there. Um, but anyways, there's also a lot of midfielders. You have Rabiot and Ramsey who have not looked great since getting them on free. So Juventus will definitely want to look to get them off their books, their high wages off their books, and even make some profit on them as they did get them on a free transfer. So a lot to really look at for this Juventus side. They do have an aging defense. Chiellini, I believe, is retiring. Bonucci getting up there in age. Then you have Demirel and Delit. That's two center backs, so they do have to reinforce their back line as well. Cuadrado has looked spectacular this season, one of his best seasons so far in a Juventus jersey, but he's up there in age too. He's not getting any younger. Danilo has played well, but he's getting close. I can't remember if he's in his 30s or he's late 20s. Um, but the aging squad does seem to be getting to Juventus now, so they have to start looking at some youthful players who can bring that youthful energy and keep some core of their experience to mesh well, because let's see what they do next year. And again, it depends where they finish. If they end up in a Champions League or Europa League place, who their coach will be in the next season, who they're going to sell, and who they will be able to attract. I know sometimes too, even with Milan, you just go for the history of the club, the name of the club. You go for them. Sometimes you don't care what competition they're in, and you just want to play for that team. So um, lots to look to this next season, and to see what we can expect from Juventus. Moving on to Roma, like I said, they have just announced Fonseca's departure and the hiring of Jose Mourinho. Now, Mourinho didn't have the best of time with Tottenham, did get fired um, at the end, or not too long, uh, maybe with 6 games to go, I think, in the Premier League, and just days before the was it FA Cup or Carabao Cup? I can't remember, one of those finals. But anyways, he definitely has had success in Italy. We know that, as he was the one that last led Inter to a Scudetto and did win the treble with them before he left back in 2010, where Inter did have success. Um, let's see what he does with Roma as well. He will definitely have a better playing style than Saudi, because I know Saudi was linked with Roma. Definitely will have a better playing style than Saudi, and also can attract better players than Saudi, I feel, because especially with all the reports of how the style of Saudi plays and the way it just doesn't work with the type of players you want to attract. But the thing is too, does Mourinho want okay, it's good that he'll have an off season to compile a list of players he'll want with the team, but it also, like I said, it also depends how Roma finishes this year. I know they're sitting seventh right now and currently in that Europa, or sorry, uh Europa Conference League playoff spot. But I want to say, if so put it this way, would you rather just Serie A football next season that Mourinho can work with and just hope to achieve top four, or would you want him competing for the Conference League as well as Serie A and try to aim for top four and Conference League too? So it depends what you as fans would want to see, because sometimes that full season of just domestic football does help, as it does help them focus on just the one objective. You get less injuries, players not playing every so often as well, and getting fatigued as well, so you can have more time for rest as well. So that's one thing they can look at. But sometimes the Europe does attract other players as well. Uh, so it depends which way you want to look at it. So as a fan, which way do you think that Roma should go? Do you think it's better for Mourinho to have just one competition next year? But he has shown he can win in Europe as well. So be sure to just see what he has to offer next year as well. We'll see what they can do. Now, speaking of top four, again, not many games left in the season, so everything's heating up. We do have three teams tied for second. So right now that's our top four: Inter, Atalanta, Juve, and Milan. Um, Milan still have those to play those two teams above them, so that will really heat everything up. It'll be tough to say because Milan don't have the best head-to-head over them. You know, they lost 3-0 at home to Atalanta and 3-1 at home to Juve. So respectively, they'll have to win 4-0 and 3-0. So I don't see Milan doing that, but maybe picking up a win would still be crucial because especially if they do tie on points, it does turn into a mini standings. But it's tough to say, especially with goal differential as well. So that turns into a thing. So they could still lose out on that, but it depends on how each result goes. Technically, Atlanta have 4 points. Um, Well, if you look at it, because Atalanta have already played Juventus twice and Milan once, so that's basically 7 points for them. So depends how Milan does in those two teams. They could pass if they can win both their games, and Milan will go ahead of Juve if they tie points with them. So it really just depends on how they do. Um, we'll see what he's gonna do, right? Um, Napoli and Lazio also very close, only 2-3 points out. And again, Lazio also have that game in hand against Torino. So Torino also fighting for safety as well. So that win against Parma was crucial for them. Everything does heat up. Milan will hope to get the top four, considering that's was always their main objective. The Scudetto was very hopeful, but they did overachieve for so long, and so now it was starting to take a toll once they started losing a few matches. But they seem to be getting on the right track, and again, they do have two tough matches against Juve and Atalanta to play against, but they also play against two teams coming up fighting for relegation against Cagliari and Torino. So, like I said in my last video, Milan is the team playing against teams who are all fighting for something. But then you also look at Juventus; they still have to play Inter, but Inter's already won the Scudetto as well. Uh, and I believe they have to. There's someone else they have to play. I think that's it. They do have the Coppa Italia, but that's different. But then you have Roma who play Lazio, and they play Inter. Inter is over with anyways. Um, so it's really up there of who these teams play against. So very tough to say. So, anyways, those are some of my thoughts there. If I miss anything, uh, be sure to let me know. If you agree with some of the stuff I've said or disagree, I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about that as well. Be sure to comment below, let me know. So, let's talk about what's happening in round 35 with some crucial matches coming up. So, let's start off with Saturday, May 8th. 9 a.m. we have Spezia hosting Napoli. Both teams looking to get crucial 3 points. Like I said, Spezia trying to pull away from relegation and perhaps trying to do the double over Napoli, while Napoli want to put pressure on the teams that are above them because a win will move them up past all three: Atalanta, Juve, and Milan. So it would be a big crucial win. A point wouldn't really do them, as they would sit still in fifth, but at least put some distance if Lazio do win their match on Sunday. So big 3 points up for grabs. Or sorry, not for Sunday, Saturday. I was looking at the wrong thing. Anyways, there's another 9 a.m. match between Udinese and Bologna. Both teams really middle of the pack, so they're just going to play for some pride and just see who can get the 3 points here. Midday match, Inter Sampdoria, newly crowned newly crowned Scudetto champions playing against the side that beat Fonseca's Roma. So not much to play for here. Just again another game here to look out for. And then at 2:45, Fiorentina, Lazio. So two teams once again fighting for objectives here. We have Lazio trying to maintain some ground on Napoli and the rest of the other teams above them, while Fiorentina will try to look to push away from the relegation zone, not be dragged into a relegation battle. So be sure to look out for that match on Saturday. Moving on to Sunday at 6:30, May 9th, we have Genoa Sassuolo. A huge game in this regard too, because Genoa, again, 3 points crucial for them, while Sassuolo want to put pressure on Roma, and if they win, they do move ahead of the Giallorossi, and so the Giallorossi will need to win their match too if they want to keep that 7th spot. Going on to 9 a.m., we do have 3 matches. We have Benevento Cagliari. So huge match there for a relegation battle here. So whoever wins could either. So if Benevento wins, they move out of the relegation, while if Cagliari wins, they go 4 points ahead of Benevento. So that would be crucial and really put a dent in Benevento's survival chances. So tough to say there. We have the second 9 a.m. game. We have Parma Atalanta. So already relegated, Parma have to go against a high-scoring Atalanta team who are fighting to stay in that top four. Try and finish ahead of the other teams and put distance between the two all other teams as well. So this will definitely see where they can go and take care of fragile Parma defense. And then the last 9 a.m. game is Verona Torino. Verona, again, mid table, not much to play for them, but Torino will fight with everything they can to secure 3 points because they want to get as many points as they can, especially if they lose that game in hand against Lazio. They will hopefully have enough distance between themselves and the relegation battle. So they're trying to pick up as many points as they can here. So another game to look out for. At 12 p.m., Roma Crotone. Roma will hope to win. Trying to edge closer to their city rivals while also trying to keep that 2 point gap if they can between Sassuolo and maintain that 7th spot against the Crotone side, who are just looking to play with whatever they got with the last remaining games in the season. So Fonseca will really have to bounce back, but let's see if he finds the motivation now to play with 4 games left, especially that he will no longer be the coach next year. So let's see what they do, especially with all the injuries that they have. They do have Pau Lopez out for the season as well after getting injured in that collapse against Manchester United. And then the last game on Sunday, May 9th at 2:45 is the big one between Juventus and Milan. So huge game here in the battle of top four. So a winner really could determine how this things will go. And again, the head-to-head would be crucial here. Milan will look to go on their impressive away run. That'll help them beating a Juventus side that can be very fragile at times. And considering this time against Juve, they have a much healthier team, more players available, and it depends. Hopefully, they can put more pressure on the Bianconeri and mount up a true challenge going forward, and hopefully even put some distance between them and Juventus, because a win could be crucial, or it could be the same as Juventus, taking advantage of Milan side that are still getting back to winning ways, but trying to get back into the right mentality. A defeat here for the Rossoneri will could hurt their mentality a little bit, and it will depend on how the Napoli game goes as well. So lots of pressure on both sides here. One of them could be losing out on the top four spot. So let's see how that goes. Those were all the matches for round 35. So be sure to let me know what you guys think and how some of these games will end up. Will we see a third team relegated this weekend, or like kind of be put in that position, or will there be some distance, or will it change things up? I know I mumbled a little bit there, but how do you guys think that third relegation spot will end up? Who will stay in that top four? Who will finish in Europe this season? So still lots to talk about. So be sure to let me know. Comment down below. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_Bros, for matchday updates, our thoughts, and just any news regarding Serie A and any teams. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications on all our latest videos, and especially to check out our channel for more Calcio content. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao!